Two errors by goalkeeper Hoban against East Fife gave them an early 2-0 lead, which we could not turn around, and we finally lost the game by 2-1, bringing our unbeaten season to an end. But we still have a league title to win, and against Albion Rovers today, we could win that league title if other results go in our favour. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to Elgin. And if you are a first-time visitor, then why not subscribe, watch, like, comment, help the channel to grow and help us to support all that good stuff you can see scrolling at the top here. And if you have been following along, you'll know it's been a very successful season, and how it stands at the moment is we are 14 points in front of Stirling Albion at the top of the league. And what that actually means is that with 5 games to go, if we actually win today, it doesn't matter what Stirling Albion do, because if we win today and Stirling Albion win, then we will still be 14 points ahead going into the last 4 fixtures, and it will then not be mathematically possible for Stirling Albion to catch us even if we are defeated in our last 4 games. So today is the very biggest game of the season, and we will be playing away at Albion Rovers, and Stirling Albion will be at home to East Fife. They're both very difficult teams, but I would think that both teams should be expecting to win. Should we win, we will win the title. But before going into what's happened on the pitch and off, let's go to Match of the Month, featuring East Fife, who took away our unbeaten record, and last week's game against Stirling Albion. And so what that means in terms of what has been happening on the pitch since you were last here. When you were last here, you saw us beating Bonnyrigg Rose by 6-1 in that absolutely classic game. And then we had a 3-0 victory away at Annan Athletic. But against Stennismuir at home, we only managed to draw 2-2, once again giving away 2 late goals. And then our unbeaten season came to an end. East Fife beating us by 2-1, as you saw. And then at home to Stirling Albion, we had a very nice 3-1 win, which has actually now set us up with this opportunity against Albion Rovers to win the title here today, with 4 games still remaining. And it has been a very good season for the players, and as you can see, we have 13 players who are all on an average rating of 7 and above, and the standout performer has been Kane Hester, who in 41 appearances has 37 goals and 5 assists, and he still has 5 games left to go and could possibly score more than 40 goals in this current season. Just behind him is Russell Dingwell, who's had a very good second half to the season and in 37 appearances has 18 goals and 5 assists. The top assists performer has been Nathan Gilhooly, who has 10 assists in 37 appearances from fullback, and then Ross Draper, who has 9 assists and 1 goal from 43 appearances. Critchley 7, Campbell Notley with 6, and the rest of the assists are spread out amongst the other members of the team. It has been a very, very successful season for the players on the pitch. Since you were last with us, we have made one signing. A young lad, 19-year-old Cody McLeod, who has come in from Peterhead on a free transfer and will join us in June. He isn't the answer to our first choice left back, especially as we might get promoted this year, but he is a very decent prospect and he has 5-star potential as a left back, and he may be a future star for Elgin City. And in terms of scouting, we are starting to find a few players, and we are finding some very, very good players indeed. And if we were to look at a few of them, Liam Brown, who is a central midfielder or attacking midfielder, excellent prospect. But the only problem with the players that we are finding is that the wages are way too much for us, and the board would be totally unable or unwilling to pay that kind of money. We do have several fullback prospects. I mean, what a fantastic fullback this guy would be. However, his salary is way above what we would be able to afford, the board only being willing to pay £130 at the moment for star players. And that is causing us problems in the transfer market, and that is why we cannot sign all these good players. It is my intention to ask the board to go professional, but I doubt whether they will allow it after one season of success, and it might take another season before they allow us to go fully professional. But you never know, because the board are very, very pleased, of course, with what has happened this season, and we have passed and they are delighted on all aspects of what they asked us to do. And it is very similar for the supporters. They are extremely pleased with how things have gone on and off the pitch. But a little side note, both the board and the supporters were concerned about the 2-1 defeat against East Fife, which brought an end to our unbeaten season. And of course, I was very, very disappointed as well, but when 2 mistakes of that nature are made, there's not a lot you can do. The tactics that we have used have worked very, very well. Both the 4-1-3-2 that we used very early on and the 4-4-2 diamond, which has worked extremely well in the second half of the season. But in terms of the squad, we still remain short of a first choice left back, and we are very, very short in midfield. We could also do with strengthening and bringing in a very good central defender. Up front, I'm happy with Hester and Dingwell as the first choice forwards, and we do have some very nice young boys in Stainrod and Henderson who can cover for those two as and when necessary next season. So it's in midfield and central defence as well as left back that we will need to strengthen during the summer window. And so it is time now to get on with today's game and to see if we can win the title against Albion Rovers today. Let's not focus on what Stirling Albion do. If we win today, the title will be ours, and that is our job. Although we will keep an eye on what Stirling Albion are doing, our job is to go out there, win today. We have a good record against Albion Rovers this season. We have won 2 and drawn 1. They have not beaten us, and so all bodes well. Let's go and kick some balls. And so it is a slightly rotated team today. In goal we have Hoban, we have Gilhooly, Draper, Anderson and Thomas at the back, with Thomas, Critchley and Notley in midfield. Sopel, Dingwell and Henderson will make up the front 3. And this is a game we should win, but I've been playing FM for a long, long time. I don't feel optimistic. I think that FM is probably going to do the dirty on me. I don't want to call it here, but I do feel that I think they want to set up a nice, exciting finish. It would be nice if FM has moved on since then. I don't think it has. We've started to go into a little bit of a poor run of form, and I think they're trying to set up a nice little finish for the end of the season? I hope not. I hope that our league form, which is good enough to beat Albion Rovers, will actually be enough, and that FM won't interfere with the way that this season should go now. But I've been playing FM for a long time, and I don't really feel optimistic about this game. We are in the driving seat, but nothing is really happening here. We've had 70% of the possession, but there hasn't been a shot in anger, and it has been a very quiet first 10 minutes. I'm absolutely sure that this game is going to finish as a draw. Even though we've dominated possession, it has been Albion Rovers in the driving seat, but we have cut out the cross there. But here they come, and they're going to pop the ball into the box, and there's a header. Poor defensive work by Thomas at the back, but we survive, and it remains 0-0. It is Albion Rovers who have had all the game. They are now dominating possession as well. This doesn't make any sense to me. We are a far better team, but I've been playing FM for a long time, and I know what FM is doing. And so, as you can see, Albion Rovers are absolutely dominating the game. I'm going to go to a cautious mentality and try to just fend them off a little bit for now. We're not doing very well, and I think I'm not, as I said before the game, I know FM, and I didn't feel optimistic. We've hardly had any opportunities. We haven't had a highlight. I'm going to shout at them, demand more. Nobody's playing very well again. And we do have a free kick, though. Here's Thomas, and there's a ball in the box, and it's headed over the crossbar. This has got 0-0 or 1-1 written all over it. And Stirling Albion, of course, are leading at home to East Fife as a free kick is fired in but goes marginally wide. I think we just need to... I don't know what we need to do. What I'm going to ask them to do is to stay on their feet. I don't want them diving in, giving away tackles. It's still 0-0 as we come up to half-time, but it is all Albion Rovers. But that's a good tackle by Gilhooly. Thomas, he finds Soppel to Henderson. Now, what can we do from here? Here is Notley. It just needs a lovely pass, and Critchley's in space, and he fires it over the bar. I absolutely know what is going to happen. And if it's not a draw, then we will lose this game. FM is not finished yet for this season, and it is winding me up, and I don't know what to do. I really have no idea, because we should not be in this position. I'm going to tell them, keep going. You need to step up. You have the ability, but this is not really good enough at the moment. And we do have players who are not playing very well. They're just having average games, and it's very difficult to know who to take off at this point, because nobody's having an appalling game, but nobody's having a very good game. And it is a highlight for us, though. Is this our first highlight? Gilhooly with the ball into the box, and it's hooked off the line. And here come Albion Rovers on the counter-attack, and it remains 0-0. I don't know what to do, what to say. I'm going to shout at them again and demand more. This is not good enough. Stirling Albion are cruising past East Fife. I'm going to have to make some changes in a minute, because we're just not playing well enough. And so let's go and do that. Let's go and make some changes. And so we've made a couple of changes. It's very difficult to know who to change. Nobody's having a really bad game, but nobody is playing exceptionally well. Notley isn't having a bad game. I'm going to bring off Gilhooly because he looks a little bit tired, and we'll bring Cairns on. But there's nothing I can see that we can do, and it remains 0-0. We are not going to win the title at this visit. We are trying to be more positive. I'm going to now go attacking with nothing to lose. We might as well try and win the title here. We're going attacking, and we have Anderson also, who is very tired. I don't have a replacement central defender for him. He's just going to have to play on. And we do have a corner. And can we get something from this corner? No, we can't. The ball is out to Dingwell. Dingwell needs to get it into the box. It's no good out here. Here is Notley. Notley looks for Anderson. Anderson, he finds Cairns. Ken's looking over the top and he finds Cameron. Cameron into space, and it's a dreadful miss. Absolutely dreadful miss. And I don't know what to do. I'm going to just lower the tempo a little bit. Maybe they're not functioning because they are trying to move the ball too quickly. But it is an absolutely terrible, terrible result. I knew it was going to happen, but what can I do? It's just one of those days, I guess. But we do have a throw. I can read FM like a book. I know what it is going to do. It's sometimes too predictable. Here is Thomas. Thomas goes up the line. By going attacking, have we got anything that we can do? Cameron is trying to get the ball into the box. He's looking into the box. There's a chance, and it goes wide of the post. It is so simple to read this game sometimes. FM has decided it is not finished with the season. It's going to remain 0-0 all the way through. And of course, we will know that Stirling Albion are winning easily. But here is Notley. Notley finds Thomas. Cameron into Thomas. Here is Hester. Hester's looking for Dingwell, and Dingwell has fired it over the bar. I didn't get excited about that because I knew it was going to happen. And I was hoping that FM had grown up a little bit since those days. But the full-time whistle has gone. It has finished 0-0. We haven't won the title. Failure is always hard to take, I'm going to tell them, but I'm very disappointed we didn't seal the title here. We are 12 points now in front, and there are 4 games to go. It looks like we have the title. Our goal difference is vastly superior to Stirling Albion. They're going to have to win their games by at least 6 or 7-0 each time to actually take the title off us. I do hope FM is not going to take this down to the wire by making us lose our final 3 games before allowing us to beat Bonnie Rigrose. One of the problems of this game is that it's sometimes very easy to read what is going to happen. I had a feeling this was going to be a draw. I called it before the match, and it turned out to be a draw. And so that's it for this episode. If you are new to the channel, why not subscribe, like, watch, comment, help the channel to grow, and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling above. And from a very, very bitterly disappointed, although not surprised, Elgin City, we will bid you all farewell, and we will see you in the next episode.